Hello, YouTube. This is Mage Power, and we have a long one for you today. These are the Mutants revealed by Ruggles, obviously another YouTuber and Yu-Gi-Oh player, so Yugi-Tuber, the more common colloquialism. But these cards I am not seen, so we are going to go over them today. I believe we were told there were 14 of them, so fair warning, this video might get a little long. I don't know if all 14 are here or not. I have only scrolled just briefly through this just to see kind of what we might be dealing with. I have not read a single word other than mutant, basically. So this is Mutants, the new world premiere theme, have a solid chunk of their cards revealed courtesy of Yugi-Tuber Ruggles. So, okay, so it says solid chunk. So I guess maybe it's not quite all of them, but it's probably a lot of them. Mutant Cry is a trap card. Normal trap. During the main phase, fusion summon one mutant fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling the fusion materials listed on it into the deck from among your cards on the field and your grave and your face-up banished cards. You can only activate one per turn. Okay, so a trap card fusion that lets you summon using your field, grave, or banished. That seems pretty good. Assuming what you're summoning is good anyways. Right off the bat, like it. Mutant M5. Okay, so this was the card that was initially spoiled for us as just the picture, and people were freaking out going, they're reptiles, they're fish, they're spellcasters, they're whatever they were speculating it was. So now we get to see what it is. It's a water psychic effect. Okay, so if you went out and you bought Snake Rain, uh, F to you. That's a hard neg. I'm sorry. You know, hold that F. Level 2, 0 attack, 500 defense. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one mutant monster from your deck to your hand, except for M5. Okay, so it searches for another monster when it's summoned, basically. You can tribute this card, then banish one card from your hand or face-up field. Special summon one monster from your hand or deck based on the banished card. If you banish a monster, you can summon a mutant beast. If you banish a spell, it's a mutant mist, or a trap, a mutant arsenal. I don't know what that means yet, but I guess we'll find out. You can only use each effect of Mutant M5 once per turn. The naming of these does remind me a little bit of Karakuri, not gonna lie. But so this does mean that you can get to a mutant beast. At the very least, I don't know what the mutant beasts do yet, obviously. But so this, you can add a mutant monster when it's summoned, and then get the monster effect by tributing this. So at the very least, if the mutant beasts are good, this could be a one-card mutant beast. I don't know. We'll find out. Obviously, if you don't know what they do, you know as much as I do. So, Mutant ST46. Water Psychic Effect. Okay, so it does look like they're all going to be water and psychic. Another thing to note, this is level 3, this is level 2. So it looks like Emergency Teleport could be a card for this deck. Level 3, 500, 0 attack. If this card is normal or special summoned, you could add a mutant spell or trap from your deck to your hand. You can tribute this card, then banish one card from your hand, special summon monster. Special summon one monster from your hand or deck based on the banished card. A mutant beast for a monster, a mutant mist for a spell, or a mutant arsenal for a trap. Okay, so they seem to both have this effect, and then this searches spells or traps, so that means this can get into a mutant mist or a mutant arsenal for free. Okay, we'll see how good those are. Mutant GB88. During your opponent's main phase, oh, sorry, it's a level 4 Psychic Water, 500, 500. During your opponent's main phase, if Mutant Evolution Lab, okay, I'm guessing that is a field spell, is in your field zone. Yep, so remind me of Brain Research Lab. You can special summon this card from your hand. So you can summon this as a quick effect on your opponent's main phase. Okay, what does it do? If this card is special summoned during your opponent's turn, you contribute this card to banish one card from your hand or field. Special summon one of your level 8 mutant monsters that is banished or in your graveyard. Okay, we will find out how good that is. I don't know. This doesn't sound like it's got a very good resource game yet, though. You can only use each effect once per turn. Mutant Beast. Okay. So these are specific. Okay, so these aren't monster types. These are actually Mutant Beast, Mutant Mist, and Mutant Arsenal. These are named cards. Okay. That's not what I expected. I expected it to be like Mutant Beast M7 or something, based on how these are named, but. So this is Mutant Beast. It is an Earth Beast effect. Okay, so they're changing the typing now. Level 8, 2400, 2400. Level 8 means possible trade-in value. Cannot be special summoned except with the effect of a mutant card. Your opponent cannot target this card with monster effects. Okay, that's not terrible. You can only use each of the following effects of Mutant Beast once per turn. When your opponent activates a spell card or effect, quick effect, you can banish one card from your hand or field, negate the activation, and if you do, banish that card. So it's a spell negator that can't be targeted by monster effects. If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can target one of your banished mutant traps, add it to your hand. Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Mutant Mist and Mutant, what was the other one? Arsenal? I'm going to go out on a limb and say Mutant Beast since it can't be targeted by monsters and negates spells and recurs traps. That Mutant Mist is then going to do something like can't be targeted by spells, negates traps, and recurs monsters. And Arsenal's going to not be targetable by traps, negate monsters, and recur spells. I think that's probably how this is going to work. Let's find out. Mutant Mist is a wind spellcaster level 8. So trade-in value, definitely. There's level 8s, and you can even kind of see peeking down below. Arsenal appears to also be a level 8. Cannot be special summoned except with a mutant. Your opponent cannot target this card with spell effects. Yep, there's the first one. When your opponent activates a trap card or effect, you can banish a card from your hand or field, draw 2 cards. Okay, it doesn't negate, it draws 2, but it still interacts with traps in that manner. If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can target a banished mutant monster, add it to your hand. I pretty much called that, didn't I? And then Arsenal, level 8, 3000, 1000. It is a fire machine, level 8. Cannot be special summoned except with a mutant card. Your opponent cannot target this card with trap effects, like I said. You can only use each of the following effects of Mutant Arsenal once per turn. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can banish a card from your hand or field, target a monster on the field, and banish it. Close enough. If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can target a banished mutant spell, add it to your hand. I think the one I'm most impressed by is the Beast. I think Beast is probably going to be the way forward because you can recur your traps, and obviously being able to recur this mutant cry is probably pretty good. I'll get to the fusions. Obviously, if the fusions aren't good, this card is bad, but this card in general is a good card. So we will see. Unless the fusions are absolutely terrible, there's no way you wouldn't play them. Simply because the fusions are basically free recursion. So, Mutant Synthesis. Level 9, 2500, 2000, Water Psychic. So, level 9 instantly means, okay, we might have some rank 9 shenanigans, perhaps. Two mutant monsters with different attributes. Okay, so that means you're going to have to fuse with the Beast, Mist, or Arsenal. Or, well, actually, you have to because they're all water except for the level 8s. I guess it's not hard to get to the level 8s. You would play multiples, I'm assuming, with trade-in. Be able to just stuff them into the graveyard, trade-in, draw 2 cards, and in theory, I think that's probably what you would do if this card is fusion summoned. You can target one card on the field and destroy it. Okay, so because you have a trap card that fuses, you can actually get this as an interrupt effect. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can activate this effect for the rest of this turn. This face-up card is unaffected by the effects of opponent's cards of the same type, monster, spell, or trap as that card. Okay, so your opponent activates a spell card, activate this, it's unaffected by spells. So if you're facing a deck that's very monster reliant, you can make this unaffected by monster effects. Okay, it's a different effect, but yeah, it's not bad. If this fusion summoned card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card, so battle or card effect, you can add one of your banished mutant cards to your hand. You can only use each effect of synthesis once per turn. Okay, that's not bad. I like that. And then we have Mutant Ultimus. I would not want to see that in my dreams. That looks scary. Dark Psychic Fusion effect. So it's a dark now. Level 10, 3500, 3000. So this is the big boss. 3 level 8 or higher mutant monsters. Assuming you're getting them banished and in your graveyard, this is probably not that difficult to do. And then additionally, you can use the synthesis to fuse as well. When a card or effect is activated, quick effect, you can banish one mutant card from your hand, graveyard, or face up on the field of the same type, monster, spell, or trap. Negate the activation, and if you do, banish that card. So it's an Omni Negate, assuming you have the material. Essentially, this reminds me very much of Invoked Mechaba, except you don't have to banish from hand. You can do it just from your graveyard. Oh, that's cool. I used this spell this turn. Here, I'm just going to banish it to negate your spell. It's free. It's free. If this fusion summoned card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can add up to 3 of your banished mutant cards, up to 1 each of monster, spell, and trap, to your hand. Okay. So, this card, it doesn't have that same protection where it can become unaffected, but it is a walking negate that's 3500 and recurs 3 cards. So, yeah, that seems pretty massive, especially considering you can recur your trap card that fusion summoned this, first of all, if you banished it. You know, you're probably also banishing monsters along the way. You're probably banishing spells along the way. You know, just in general playing the deck, because I'm assuming this deck relies on banishing quite a bit. Makes me wonder if this deck could also take advantage of, what was it? Pot of... There was a quick play pot back... Oh, I think it came out wrong... About the same time we got Desires, and it shuffled banished cards back into the deck and drew a card. That could be Acquisitiveness. That's it. Pot of Acquisitiveness. I wonder if that could be a card for this deck. Then we have Mutant Evolution Lab. So this is the field spell. When this card is activated, you can special summon one of your level 4 lower mutant monsters from your hand, or that is banished. Okay. So if you summon out that first monster that we talked about that adds monsters, use its effect to add a monster to your hand, and then tribute it and banish that monster to summon out the the first big one that I was saying was probably the one that you would use. You can then activate the evolution lab to summon back the monster that you would want. So, okay, I'm going to actually theory this out here really quick for you guys. So you summon M5. M5 adds 46. So then 46 gets banished by M5, and you tribute M5 to summon Beast. And then you activate the field spell. The field spell then lets you summon the ST46 and lets you add a spell or trap, so you can then add either Cry or something else. I don't know what else there is yet, but you could actually get some plays off that way. I see some potential for this. That alone means you can get to Synthesis at the very least. Let's see the rest of the effect. So, mutant monsters you control gain a 100 attack for each of your banished mutant cards with different names. Okay, I guess over the course of a game that grinds out, that could potentially be big, but I don't see that being that impactful. You know, stat changes in Yu-Gi-Oh don't start to really matter once you start talking 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 most of the time. Once per turn during your main phase, you could place one mutant monster from your hand on the bottom of the deck, and if you do, draw one card. Okay, so there's some hand fixing here too. So in addition to playing those big monsters that can get stuck in your hand, you can actually place those back on the bottom of your deck to draw another card and fix your hand, and then playing cards like Trade In, you can actually take advantage and not really get stuck. I see some potential for this already. And of course, you can only activate one per turn. Then we have Mutant Fusion. So, okay, another fusion spell, I'm guessing. Fusion, summon one mutant fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your hand or field. If your opponent has activated a card or effect this turn, you can use up to one monster each from your deck and graveyard as fusion material. Okay! So if you get hand trapped, for example, you can activate this and fusion from your deck. You only get to use one from your deck, but still, that seems a little broken. The fusion spells are on point for this archetype. Okay, I'm liking this a lot. Mutant Blast, it's an equip spell. Okay. I automatically see equip spell and think, okay, well, I guess a lot of archetypes get equip spells. Most of them tend to not get played because equip spells really aren't that great in the modern game. Equip only to a level 8 or higher mutant monster you control. Okay. Already requires some setup. At the start of the damage step, if the equipped monster attacks an opponent's special summoned monster, okay, this is already bad. You don't really need the rest of this effect. So you have to get a level 8 on board. You have to attack, and it has to reach the damage step. And the opponent's monster has to be special summoned. That's way too much setup for this. But for the sake of reading, I will continue. You could banish that opponent's monster. Okay. That seems like quite a lot for something to get negated at the very most. Like, I don't see this being... I see this as a brick. I do. This is a brick. While this card is equipped to a monster, you can banish this card, send the monster this card was equipped to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon one level 8 mutant monster with a different original attribute from your hand or deck. So it's a neg 1 to summon another. I'm just going to put it this way. Please don't play this card. This no, nothing about this card screams this is a good card. This is the only one that I really did not like in this deck. I'm kind of iffy on the other two level 8s. I think Beast is definitely the best one, but no. This ain't it, Chief. No. Anyways, we're just going to ignore that this card exists. We're going to pretend this doesn't exist. We're going to scroll up here, and this is where we ended the video with this mutant. Oh, no, too far, too far. We're going to end with this mutant fusion and pretend like that equip spell never existed. So we have a good fusion spell. We have a good field spell. We have two. I don't know if I would call either of these fusions broken, but they seem serviceable. We have Arsenal and we have Mist, who I guess we'll find out. And it might also be one of those things where Arsenal or Mist could be more format dependent, kind of like hand traps can be. But I think Beast is definitely a winner. I think this. I don't know. I don't know if how well you'll play this. Maybe, but you definitely will play these two. You'll play some psychic support. Because they're water, you can also play some water support. And then Mutant Cry. This card is absolutely absurd. So if you enjoyed the video, thank you for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell. Make sure you got it set to all so you can see every video when I go live. Follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/magepower. And I'm live there every Monday and Thursday. And if I'm ever not live on one of those nights, I usually go live around 11 p.m. Central Time. That's check your local time to see when that is for you if you're not US Central. But anyways, I usually go live Monday, Thursday. If I'm not, I will usually make it up on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. It depends, but generally check on by if I'm not live. That's all right. I'll make it up. I'm pretty good at doing that. But I appreciate you watching, and one last time, united we stand, in Mage Power we trust.